Well, hey, you guys. So I want to talk about how to deal with one of the most common money problems that I hear about, and that is financial stress. So if you've ever felt anxious or stressed about your money, you are not alone. And you would be shocked at how many people feel the same way, really at any income level. So today, I'm going to be sharing 8 ways to deal with your money stress. Now, obviously, we can't just wave a magic wand and get rid of that feeling overnight, but there are some really simple, practical things you can start doing to move in that right direction. And be sure to stick around till the end of the list so you can drop any tips that I may have left out in the comments. All right, so the backstory of this topic I was thinking about is when I actually saw Inside Out 2, that movie. If y'all have not seen it, oh my gosh, it's like therapy in an hour and a half. Like, it is so good. And one of the new characters is anxiety. And there was this moment where she comes to the group of the other emotions and she's like introducing herself. And she's like, "Hi, I'm anxiety." And she's explaining like how anxious she is and all the things. And fear, that emotion, was like, "Oh, we're gonna be best friends." And she looked at fear and she said, "Well, you have to worry about what Riley's dealing with today, right now, what she's facing. I worry about what's gonna happen to her in the future. Things that haven't even happened yet. That's my job to worry about those." I thought, oh my gosh, kids, are y'all taking notes? Like, does everyone know how profound that is? Because it is so true. So listen, anxiety can happen, fear can happen around money. So you may be feeling fear about your present situation and like, oh my gosh, today I have a bill due and do I have enough money for it? Or maybe it is this level of just anxiety about the future of thinking, okay, are we going to be okay? If we keep going down this path, what's going to happen? So when people feel stressed about money, again, it's usually related to that idea of a fear or a goal they want to achieve. So if that sounds like you, and maybe you are feeling a little hopeless or just frozen, here's where I would start. Okay, you ready? Number 1, take inventory of where you stand with your finances right now. So an easy way to pinpoint where you are in terms of financial priorities is to figure out where you fall on the baby steps. Because a lot of people that are starting off are like, I don't know, am I doing okay? Am I not? So you can kind of figure out, okay, do you have an emergency fund? Are you working your way out of debt? How much debt do you have? What do you have in retirement if you've opened up any type of retirement investing? So actually knowing where you're at, because what we do find too is that some anxiety and fear with money is creeped up just in our heads because you don't even know really what's going on. And the old joke back in the day was like the bill drawer, that when the bills come in, you just put them in a drawer and close it. It's like, I don't even want to look at it. Well, now a lot of things are online. And so the idea of logging on to your accounts and knowing where you actually are may actually decrease some of that fear and anxiety because you have logic going in, which is huge. All right, number 2, create a monthly budget and start tracking your expenses. So this is one of the best ways to get in control of your money. When your income comes in, knowing where it's going, and every single dollar has a plan, has somewhere where it's going. I mean, I want you to be that exact because there is something powerful about taking control over things you can control. Now, I love the EveryDollar app. So if you go to everydollar.com/Rachel, you can actually create a budget for free. You can download the app and do that. But really getting into this process and this rhythm of budgeting and then having that app connect to your bank account, I think is a really crucial step because your transactions then will come in and you'll be able to track your transactions throughout the month. So when you swipe your debit card, you know where it's going because you can drag and drop those transactions in the app. And again, it's this idea that you are on top of your budget, on top of your income, knowing what is going on. All right, number 3, if you have debt, start paying it off. So not having payments will lower your stress. That has been proven time and time again. When you don't owe anyone anything, you have a lot of options and freedom on what to do with your income in your life. So if you do have debt, I recommend paying it off using the debt snowball method, where you list out all of your debts, smallest to largest, regardless of the interest rate, pay minimum payments on everything, and attack that smallest debt first. And this is going to cause a lot of momentum because you're going to get those quick wins, which is huge. Number 4, I would encourage you to work with a financial coach. So handling money should never just be a one-man job. So if you are married, you obviously want to handle money with your spouse, but I would have somebody else in your corner too. If you have a great financial coach, make sure to reach out to them. Or even, if you're single, having somebody that does this and to be able to say, hey, will you look at these numbers? And again, that can be a good friend or a family member, but having somebody with you. But then you can go a step further and getting someone that actually is really professional at this this when it comes to investing and having an investment professional on your side. But the idea is kind of getting some experts around you, I think is really, really important. All right, number 5, get a side hustle to earn extra cash. So you can do things like grab a local retail job. If you know guitar, teach guitar lessons. My girls are doing piano, and so we have someone coming to the house to do piano lessons, right? If you want to tutor even, one of my friends does this. She tutors a bunch of kids in our neighborhood, which is fantastic. Babysitting, dog sitting, like whatever you can do to earn extra money, I think is really, really key, especially if you're really stressed and even underwater when it comes to finances. You have to get your income up. And remember, this will not be forever. This additional stream of income, it's going to be helpful for you to relieve some of that stress and get on a better plan. And again, you're not going to do this forever and ever, but for a period of time, it may be something to really consider. All right, before I share the rest of this list, it is time for a bonus tip to beat financial stress, and it's something that could prevent you from having future financial struggles online. Because you guys, there are scammers everywhere these days, and I'll admit, I am one to possibly fall for a scam or two every now and then. I hate it, but sometimes that happens. But listen, there is no shame if you've been there too. If you have fallen for some of this, it is okay because it happens to the best of us, which is why I recommend and I use Delete Me. So Delete Me gives me so much peace of mind. It finds and removes my personal info, like my home address, my phone number, and more from hundreds of data broker websites, helping you to get away from spammers, scammers, and online thieves, and potentially saving you a lot of time and money. So you guys, you need to check it out. So go to joindeleteme.com/Rachel for 20% off. That's joindeleteme.com/Rachel. All right, back to this list to lower our financial stress. Number 6 on the list, which I love, is to make a gratitude list and celebrate your wins. Okay, and this isn't just like, rah, rah, we're going to just be cheesy and have positive thinking. But honestly, you guys, studies have proven that the way we think and what we believe about ourselves and the world around us changes our attitude and our outlook and ultimately our actions. And so there really is something beautiful about thinking, okay, my mind is powerful. And if I sit there and talk about just, how hard it is, it's good to do that. I want you to be honest about where you are, and leaning into those hard emotions is beautiful and great. But we don't want to just stay there, right? You want to move to something better, and you want to move not just a plan tactically, but also in what you believe about yourself. And I would just encourage you that people every day, from every income level, debt level, every part of the country, even the world now, it is wild. People are getting control of their money, and it really is a beautiful thing. And I think part of it is that belief. And it's so hard to have hope when you're stressed. But again, that's why the earlier parts of this list, I think, are important to get some of that tactical control, but then really start believing that, gosh, I can do this, and having that positive thinking and that gratitude. And so gratitude is so key. So even writing down 1 or 2 things you're grateful for every day. I even was listening to a podcast, and someone said before they go to bed, they make themselves think through the day and just pick out 2 things they're grateful for. These small actions, you guys, it changes how we believe and what we think about our world and who we are. So it's really, really key. This is an important step I don't want you to miss. All right, number 7 is always have a future goal that you're working towards. So the 7 baby steps, those are a great guide because it kind of does show you, hey, here's where you should move on next. But always have that goal. And even, maybe it's if you're paying off debt, maybe the next goal is that next debt. Maybe it's not being completely debt-free because that may feel very overwhelming, but it's like, okay, we just gotta get that next debt paid off. Or if you're saving up for a fully funded emergency fund, maybe it's like, okay, let's just get first month's emergency fund. Let's just get a month's worth. That's our goal, right? It's these little steps within the steps that are really important, but do those and celebrate those wins. And number 8 is to start giving. So giving is something that is going to change your attitude about money. There is something beautiful about this generosity piece of money that, again, some people are so overwhelmed with their current situation. So I'll just say, give a little until you can give a lot. Even just, paying for someone's order that's behind you in the line, in the drive-thru, or tiny, acts of kindness or generosity can go a really, really long way. It's really beautiful what it does to you and your soul and who you are as a person, but also for the person you're giving to. And so, again, I think it's really important to be prepared financially with all of your finances and everything. But again, like I mentioned earlier, one of the best ways to kind of keep a finger and a pulse on what's going on in your life is to know, okay, how do I feel during all of this? And what generosity and giving does is it just gives you this wholeness of what your money can do. And it's really, really beautiful. Well, I hope that those 8 ways to lower stress help you guys, because I know a lot of people are just feeling the pinch. I mean, today's world, it's so expensive. It is, from the grocery store to the housing market. Like, it is. It's just, it can make you feel behind, and you're not behind. Things are just more expensive, which means we have to be that much more diligent with our money. So do not forget to set up your every dollar budget. Make sure to do that today. And if you haven't, then you definitely need to check out my episode on 6 legit ways to earn passive income. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.